What's up and welcome back to the channel. My name is George. This is the Model Railroad Show, and in today's video, we're talking about should you or shouldn't you weather your model trains. So yeah, we're talking about weathering today. Should you, shouldn't you? If you're just starting out, maybe you're looking for some direction, like what should I or shouldn't I do? A lot of people, they like their cars nice and pristine and they look like they came right from the manufacturer. Me, not so much. I like them. I like to weather stuff, and it's a great, it's a great little creative outlet. It's part of modeling to me, is weathering these cars and making them look like they've been on the railroad. And that being said, let's get right into why people do love weathering, and it is to make that, to add realism to your layout. Definitely something that people aren't necessarily used to when they go see a model railroad and they see these, they expect to see buildings and trains and all that stuff, and then they start to see rolling stock and locomotives that look as modeled and as weathered and as old as they necessarily should be for that period of time. And it's something that really stands out to people. And it tells a story, it tells the story of the railroad. It can really tell the story depending upon what era of a railroad that you're modeling. As some of these roads got to the end of their days, they didn't have money, they didn't have the staff for the upkeep and the washing of the cars, and the engines started to look really beat up. So if you're getting there towards the end of steam, or modeling something, that's close to the end of that railroad, you might consider that and more heavily weather things. If you've looked at pictures of actual railroads, you see cars come in all levels of, wear, which is really what you're modeling. And it's also a great creative outlet, whether you're using powders and or you're using paints. A lot of people use paints like oil paint. There's a lot of techniques to do with that. Washes, I've used my India ink wash when I do this video. I really like using the India ink wash when I model. It really adds a cool layer to the car. Or I just picked up an airbrush, and airbrushing is a large part of modeling. A lot of people use that, layer it up to get that nice like dirt kick up on the bottom, to use for trucks and couplers, especially for couplers that are moving. You really don't want to spray paint those. And even with a brush, I'm very careful because it's a working part, and you don't want that to gum up. Every once in a while, maybe you'll have, not weathering is the telling the story. Maybe you've had a new locomotive just come from the factory. So you might just have a little bit of dust on the trucks and it looks nice and shiny. All right. Or maybe you've had a locomotive that isn't necessarily old, as you look at this Trainmaster here, but this is weathered. And but it's just, it's out on the road working. And if you look at the two of these next to each other, you can see that although the Trainmaster isn't heavily weathered, it is definitely not looking like this RS here. And they both looked that way when they came out of the box. So all different shapes and layers of weathering you can have. So that being said, people have their reasons not to weather. One, top of the list, it can devalue a collectible model. I'm an N scale. I think a lot of N scale and HO. I think collectability is relative. I believe that, I'm a believer that motorcycles should be ridden, classic cars should be driven, and it's your damn railroad. So if you want to weather stuff, and if you don't. The collectability of something is, I don't know that any of my N scale stuff is very highly collectible to begin with, and most of it I buy used pretty cheap at shows anyway. That being said, I do have LGBs that I do not weather. So are they any more collectible? I don't know, but I don't weather them at all. They come out, they go around the Christmas tree. So that's a thing. I really find that when I watch YouTube videos and, part of, starting this channel and getting more into the model railroad community, especially online on YouTube, is somehow I watch a lot of O-scale channels. I don't know how that is. You know who you are, Tattooed Trains, Joker. It's, I have no idea how those guys monitor my algorithm, and they do these live streams and they're great. But I find that the O-scale guys seem to not weather their trains. And some of those engines, like, I get it, I guess. They are, $13, $14, $1,500 for some of this locomotive power. So I can get that. I feel like those guys, from a collectability standpoint, they do not weather their stuff. The other thing that people will say is if you make a mistake, it's hard to undo. And depending on how you're weathering, yes. If you're using an airbrush, like what's going on is probably staying on unless you can get some alcohol and hopefully maybe get that layer off. The chances of that are, thin. I think everybody should start weathering with pan pastels. I have my pan pastels up here, have them, love them. I'll leave a link to the kit down below that I use on Amazon, and that can give you like an idea of starting to weather. I think it's a great introduction to pan pastels. But if you're handling your cars a lot, you really need to dull coat and seal those pan pastels because you will start to get fingerprints and powder and stuff all over the place. Once you seal them with a dull coat, it is permanent, but it gives you, if you do something you don't like, it definitely gives you leeway to fix that. And the other reason not to weather is, listen, there are things out there that probably shouldn't be weathered at all. If you have if you're doing like a tourist line, there's a lot of Strasbourg guys out there. Like if if you're doing, maybe like Amtrak and you have an Excella, and I've seen a lot of Excellas and rarely do they look that dirty. So there are things that, just probably, shouldn't be weathered. And then you have the fence sitters, which I don't know. What I found online, people like the middle ground, like, oh, you could just do chalks and leave them unsealed, and that way they can wash off or what have you. It's if you don't seal them, like I said, they wind up a mess. I mean, either pot commit, weather or don't weather. Yeah. Some people will weather only things like wheels and couplers, and you'll see photos of that stuff. That's all things that they can change out and they don't touch the car. Listen, it's their railroad too. They can do whatever they like. Just not my thing. I want to enjoy the hobby to its fullest and really have fun with it and get it to look like I want it to look. I have this Pennsylvania Railroad car. You guys have seen this a bunch. I just have it here on my desk, so I like to keep talking about it. But I did a full video on weathering this car, and I think it came out pretty good. And I used a number of techniques with this car. I used powders. I used an India ink wash. I used acrylic paints. So it's everything but the airbrush on this baby. But it came out really, really good, I think. And that's it. So, and you can see the contrast of it with this Pennsylvania automobile car, which is, believe me, gonna get weathered. And you can see how new this looks, and this is how they look when they come from the factory. They look really great. Let me know, are you a weatherer or not? Like, do you like to make stuff look old? And what do you prefer? Like I said it once, I prefer to weather. If you want to see some great weathered layouts, look at these. Look at like the ON30 guys. Like there are so many modelers out there that really like to make stuff look old, and I have a great appreciation for it. You'll see some guys that will even weather their their throttles and their control panels. It's so cool what people do. Yeah, very, very neat. Though, let me know what side of the fence you're on. Let me know if you think I'm ruining my model trains by weathering them, and thanks for watching. So hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and ring the bell so that you know when I upload new content. And I'm George. Thanks for watching the show. I'll catch you in the next one.